Max Keller was the kind of lawyer you'd want to have on your side, if you didn't mind that he often forgot his own coffee in the microwave and wore mismatched socks that were more quirky than fashionable. He worked at a law firm that specialized in an unusual niche, interdimensional legal disputes. In simpler terms, he solved legal problems that spanned across parallel universes, which was as bewildering as it was lucrative. The firm's office was a riot of color and chaos, resembling a postmodern art installation more than a place of serious business. A large, inflatable giraffe served as the unofficial mascot, hovering in the corner next to the copy machine that occasionally hummed "Eye of the Tiger." Max, however, preferred the company of his own bizarre creation, a sentient toaster that often offered unsolicited advice on matters of culinary ethics. On this particular Tuesday morning, as Max ambled into the office, he was greeted by the melodious clang of a bell. "Morning, toaster," he called out, giving the appliance a casual pat. The toaster, whom he'd affectionately named Crumb, winked at him, because of course, it could. Max had just settled into his cluttered desk when his boss, Ms. Jenkins, stormed in, her heels clicking aggressively against the floor. Her hair, a meticulously styled blonde bob, looked like it could stand up to a tornado. "Max, we have an emergency," she declared, her eyes wide with urgency. He straightened up, intrigued. "What is it this time?" "Another case of dimensional copyright infringement involving a guy who wrote a bestseller in 3 different realities?" "Worse," she exclaimed. "We have a client, a toaster, to be specific, who claims it's being framed for stealing bread from a parallel universe. And get this, there's evidence suggesting that several universes are colluding to rewrite the entire multiverse legal code." Max raised an eyebrow, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Wait, we're talking about interdimensional conspiracies and rogue toasters? I've finally found my niche in legal drama." "Focus, Max." Ms. Jenkins snapped, but there was a hint of amusement in her eyes. "This is serious. If they succeed, it could redefine reality as we know it." Max couldn't resist the allure of adventure. "Well, let's get to the bottom of this toaster conspiracy. After all, it's not every day you get to save the multiverse." With that, Max sprang into action. He'd seen many odd things in his career. Sentient kitchen appliances were just the tip of the iceberg, but this sounded like the ultimate case. He grabbed his briefcase, still adorned with old stickers from various legal conferences, and headed out with Ms. Jenkins in tow. Their first stop was an emergency meeting with Lila, the firm's resident quantum physicist. Lila was a whirlwind of energy, her hair a vibrant purple that seemed to defy gravity. "So, you're telling me that the fate of multiple realities rests on a toaster's shoulders?" she asked incredulously, adjusting her oversized glasses. "Essentially," Max replied, barely suppressing a laugh. "And if we don't act fast, the legal implications could toast us all." Lila raised an eyebrow, amused but intrigued. "I might have a way to help. I've been working on a device that allows you to communicate with alternate versions of yourself across different realities. You could gather intel from them." Max's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Let's do it." They set up the device, a strange contraption that looked like a cross between a radio and a blender, and Max took a deep breath. "Here goes nothing," he said, pressing the large, green button. Suddenly, a holographic image flickered to life before him. The alternate Max appeared, looking strikingly well-groomed in a tailored suit. "Greetings, my alternate self," the doppelganger said, exuding charm. "You look different." "Yeah, I tend to lean more towards organized chaos," Max replied, gesturing to his messy desk. "But enough about me. I need your insights into a serious matter involving rogue toasters and multiverse law. The alternate Mechs raised an eyebrow. Ah, the infamous crumb. I heard about that case. Look, if you want to win, you'll need to appeal to the court sense of absurdity. Trust me, I wrote a bestseller on the subject. Mechs nodded, inspired. That's genius. We need to find a way to prove our toaster's innocence by showcasing the ridiculousness of the charges. As they delved deeper into the complexities of interdimensional law, Mechs encountered various alternate selves who provided colorful insights. One version of himself was a successful author, spinning tales of whimsical adventures. Another was a zany lawyer who specialized in defending sentient animals. Each encounter filled him with both laughter and inspiration, and Mechs realized that every version of himself had unique strengths to draw from. Just when they thought they had a solid plan, Ms. Jenkins called them back. "Mechs, we need to meet the client," she insisted, leading him to a rather gloomy conference room. To his surprise, the client turned out to be none other than Crumb the toaster. It sat at the table, a look of determination etched into its metallic facade. "I demand justice," it exclaimed in a surprisingly robust voice, complete with a thick accent. "These accusations are as absurd as charging a coffee maker for caffeination crimes." Mechs couldn't help but chuckle. "All right, Crumb. We're going to fight for your right to toast freely." The next few days were a whirlwind of preparation. Mechs and Lila gathered evidence, interviewing witnesses from alternate realities, including a particularly chatty bread loaf who claimed it had been wronged. They scoured through countless legal texts, highlighting the absurdities of the multiverse law and preparing their defense. Finally, the day of the trial arrived, and Mechs felt a surge of nerves mixed with excitement. The courtroom was an eclectic mix of beings from various dimensions, each more peculiar than the last. There were intergalactic beings, sentient plants, and even a judge who resembled a giant floating squid with a gavel. As the proceedings began, Mechs took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Your Honor, members of the jury, today we're here to discuss a case that challenges the very foundation of justice across the multiverse," he started, his voice steady. The prosecutor, a pompous figure with a thick mustache, scoffed. "To charge a toaster with theft? Absurd." Mechs grinned. "Exactly. The very notion of a toaster stealing bread is a slap in the face to reason. This is a case of mistaken identity wrapped in an interdimensional farce." As Mechs continued his argument, the audience was drawn into his infectious enthusiasm. He painted a picture of the bizarre legal landscape, illustrating how ridiculous it would be to hold a toaster accountable for something as silly as bread theft. With each word, the tension in the room shifted. Just as it seemed they were gaining ground, the prosecutor pulled a last-minute surprise, revealing a hidden agenda among the parallel universes to manipulate the legal system for their own gain. The courtroom erupted in chaos as accusations flew, and it became clear that the case was much larger than just a toaster. Realizing they were in over their heads, Mechs reached out to his alternate selves once more. "I need ideas," he shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. One of the alternate Mechses appeared, looking thoughtful. "Why not turn the tables? Use the absurdity against them. Challenge the very laws they're trying to manipulate." With a newfound sense of purpose, Mechs returned to the courtroom. "Your Honor, I would like to propose an alternative solution. If we're to rewrite laws based on absurdity, let's do so in a way that benefits all realities, especially the ones where kitchen appliances are not only sentient but capable of making their own legal arguments." The judge, a tentacled being with a penchant for puns, raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Interesting, go on." Max seized the opportunity, presenting a series of humorous counterarguments that highlighted the ridiculousness of the situation. He illustrated how each universe had unique quirks, and rather than imposing one set of laws, they should embrace the diversity of perspectives. As laughter filled the courtroom, the tide began to turn. The audience resonated with his message, and even the judge chuckled at the absurdity of it all. In a stunning twist, the judge ruled in favor of Crumb, recognizing that the multiverse needed laws that respected the individuality of each reality. With the trial concluded, Max felt a rush of triumph. He had defended a toaster and, in doing so, found a deeper understanding of his own life and work. As he walked out of the courtroom, Lila by his side, he couldn't help but grin. "Looks like we saved the multiverse," she said, laughing. "What's next for you, Max? Writing a book about this adventure?" "Funny you should mention that," he replied, his eyes twinkling. "I might just start with a series on kitchen appliances and their legal rights. Who knows where that could lead?" As they stepped into the vibrant chaos of the firm, Max realized that life was full of surprises, especially when you embraced the absurdity of it all. The case of Crumb the toaster had not only been a wild adventure but a reminder that sometimes the most outlandish challenges could lead to the ultimate revelations, and just as he was about to settle back into his desk, the phone rang. He picked it up. Max's head spun with excitement as he hung up the phone. Just when he thought he could kick back and enjoy a moment of normalcy, the universe threw another curveball his way. He turned to Lila, who was still buzzing from their recent victory. "Looks like we're back in the saddle," he said, grinning. "An alien life form wants to sue a reality TV show? Sounds like my kind of case. Right?" Lila replied, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "What do you think this alien's issue is? A bad portrayal? Editing that made them look like a villain? Or maybe they just don't appreciate being the token weird one on a reality show," Max suggested, already brainstorming ideas. "Let's meet with them and see what we're dealing with." They gathered their things and headed out, a skip in Max's step that was hard to contain. The case had all the makings of an epic showdown, and if there was anything he'd learned, it was that the multiverse had an endless supply of strange and wonderful stories. They arrived at a small cafe that served as a meeting point for interdimensional clients. The place was adorned with eclectic decor, neon signs from different realities, paintings that seemed to shift and change depending on the viewer's mood, and the distinct aroma of coffee blended with what Max could only describe as cosmic spice. "Just another day at the office," he quipped as they found a corner table. A moment later, the door swung open, and in floated their client, Xylox, an alien with shimmering skin that glowed like a disco ball and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Xylox greeted them with an exuberant flourish. "Greetings, Earth lawyers. I come seeking justice." Max's grin widened. "We're all about justice here, especially when it involves reality TV." Xylox took a seat, excitement radiating from every shimmering pore. "I was featured on the reality show Galactic Whirlwind, where they promised to show the true beauty of my culture. But what did they do?" He dramatically paused, his skin flickering with hues of indignation. "They turned my ancestral dance into a meme." "A meme?" Max tried to stifle a laugh, but the image was too much. "So, they made you a viral sensation? Not the good kind. They edited the footage to make me look like I was dancing in a food fight with sentient pies." Xylox exclaimed, gesturing wildly. "The shame! The dishonor!" Lila interjected, her brow furrowing. "So, you want to sue them for defamation and emotional distress?" "Exactly," Xylox said, nodding vigorously. and for the destruction of my cultural integrity. My family is very upset. Max leaned back in his chair, the wheels in his head turning. All right, Xylox, we'll take your case. But first, we need to gather evidence. We'll need footage, testimonials from your family, anything that proves your rightful reputation has been tarnished. Xylox's eyes sparkled brighter. I can provide footage. And my cousin Zog is a renowned intergalactic influencer. He will support my claim. Perfect. Max said, excitement bubbling up. Let's get started. As they formulated their strategy, the conversation flowed easily, and Max found himself enjoying the peculiarities of this new case. Xylox's dramatic flair brought a refreshing energy to their discussions, and the alien's passion for his culture was infectious. They spent the next few days gathering evidence and preparing for the upcoming trial. Max immersed himself in Xylox's world, learning about the customs, traditions, and the significance of each dance step that had been mockingly edited. With each new piece of information, Max's conviction grew stronger. This was more than just a legal battle, it was a fight for identity. Lila worked on the technical aspects, ensuring they had the original footage and could dismantle the edits made by the production team. The two of them crafted a solid strategy, combining legal expertise with Xylox's vibrant personality, hoping to create a narrative that would resonate with the jury, whoever they might be in this bizarre multiverse court. When the day of the trial arrived, Max felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. They stepped into the courtroom, a kaleidoscope of colors and beings from countless dimensions. It was a far cry from the mundane courtrooms of Earth, and Max couldn't help but feel invigorated by the chaotic energy around him. The judge, a peculiar creature with a floppy hat and multiple eyes, brought the room to order. Case of Xylox vs. Galactic Whirlwind Productions, is it? Yes, Your Honor, Max said confidently, stepping forward. We are here to address the serious matter of defamation and the misrepresentation of a proud cultural heritage. The prosecutor, a slick-looking humanoid with an air of superiority, smirked. Your Honor, this is a frivolous case. Xylox seeks to sue a reality show that is known for exaggeration. How can we take this seriously? Max's heart raced. Because this is not just about exaggeration, it's about respect. Xylox represents a culture that deserves dignity and understanding. Their portrayal is a violation of their identity. Xylox stood, shimmering with indignation. I am not a meme. I am a being of culture. My dance tells a story of my people. The judge leaned forward, intrigued. And what story is that? Max seized the moment, gesturing to Xylox. Let us show you. With Lila's help, they played the original footage. As the vibrant dance unfolded on the screen, the audience watched, captivated. The colors danced with joy, the movements flowed with purpose, and for a brief moment, the courtroom transformed into a celebration of Xylox's heritage. When the footage finished, a silence fell over the room. Max stepped forward, voice steady. This is the essence of Xylox. The footage they edited reduced him to a punchline, erasing the beauty of his culture in favor of entertainment. The judge stroked his chin thoughtfully, glancing at the prosecutor, who appeared flustered. I must admit, this is quite compelling. As the trial continued, witnesses were called, including Xylox's cousin Zog, who brought a crowd of supporters from various dimensions. They shared heartfelt testimonials about the significance of Xylox's culture, reinforcing the importance of respect and integrity in representation. The tide began to turn in favor of Xylox, and Max felt a surge of confidence. They had built a powerful narrative, blending law with the raw emotion of cultural identity. The prosecutor, realizing the situation was slipping from their grasp, resorted to desperate tactics, attempting to undermine Xylox's credibility by digging into personal history. "Is it true that you were once a contestant on a different reality show?" the prosecutor sneered. "What makes you any different from the other participants?" Xylox, unfazed, responded with grace. "My past experiences are part of my journey, but they do not define my worth or the value of my culture. I seek justice, not revenge." Max couldn't help but feel a rush of pride. Xylox's response resonated, and he knew they were on the cusp of a victory. As the final arguments were made, he stood before the judge, focusing intently. "Your Honor, we have shown not only the absurdity of the claims against Xylox but also the profound impact that misrepresentation can have on individuals and communities. Let this case set a precedent for all those who feel silenced, overlooked, or reduced to a stereotype." The judge nodded, deep in thought, before announcing a recess to deliberate. As they waited, Max felt a mix of nervous anticipation and hope. "No matter what happens," he said to Xylox and Lila, "we've made our point. You've shown the importance of your culture, and that matters more than the outcome." Moments later, the judge returned, his multiple eyes narrowing as he spoke. "After careful consideration, I have reached a decision." Max held his breath, heart pounding. The court recognizes the significance of Xylox's cultural representation and the damage caused by the actions of Galactic Whirlwind Productions. I hereby rule in favor of Xylox, ordering the production company to cease further use of the footage and to provide reparations for emotional distress. A roar of cheers erupted from Xylox's supporters, and Max felt a wave of relief wash over him. They had won. Xylox shimmered with joy, his colors pulsating in a vibrant dance of victory. "Thank you, Earth lawyers. You have restored my honor." As they left the courtroom, Lila couldn't contain her excitement. "We did it. Not only did we defend Xylox, but we also created a ripple that could change how interdimensional cases are handled." Max laughed, the thrill of the win energizing him. And who knew that being a lawyer could be this much fun? Their celebration continued over coffee at the cafe, where Xylox regaled them with stories of his home planet and the fascinating customs they had yet to discover. As the sun set, casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the sky, Max felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. In the days that followed, news of their victory spread across the multiverse. Xylox became a symbol of cultural pride, and Max's reputation as an interdimensional lawyer soared. They received more calls from beings seeking legal representation, and Max found himself immersed in a world of stories that were as varied and vibrant as the multiverse itself. With each new case, he discovered that law was not just about rules and regulations, it was about humanity, dignity, and the shared experiences that connected them all, no matter which universe they hailed from. And as for Crumb the toaster, he soon found himself in high demand, defending his fellow appliances from accusations of impropriety, reminding Max that in the realm of the bizarre, the absurd often held the most profound truths. As the multiverse continued to spin around them, Max couldn't help but feel grateful for the wild ride. Every day was a new adventure, filled with laughter, challenges, and the promise of justice, no matter how strange or wonderful it might be. Max raised his coffee cup in a toast to his newfound path. "Here's to the next absurdity." And as they clinked their mugs together, the universe seemed to laugh along with them, a reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected journeys lead to the most meaningful destinations.